A lot of people still think that you need to do hundreds of crunches to get that six-pack like their favorite superheroes. And I hate to break it to you, that's not rooted in science. It turns out you want to treat them just like any other muscle group to get them to pop, and you want to have proper nutrition to get them to show. In this video, I want to take you through 5 of my favorite ab exercises that you can do to build a strong anime superhero-like core. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to be starting with a great lower ab exercise. Also, it's really good for the hip flexors, but it's also very difficult to do. This is known as the hanging leg raise. What I like to do is stand on something so I don't have to jump up to the bar, and then I put my hands around the bar like that. If you have chalk or if you have Versa grips or straps or anything like that to keep you onto the bar, that's probably recommended. But from there, what you're gonna do is just hang off of the bench, and then from here, you're gonna raise up. Now you can do it with your knees bent, you can do it with your knees straight, but the important thing is that you're not rocking when you do it. It's hard to do it while training too. I've never had to do that before. So what it looks like, if you're rocking, would be like you come up just like that and your body rocks back and forth, right? So we want to prevent that. That's part of the stability of this exercise. So that's why you have to go really slow when you're doing it. And like I said, I recommend starting with your knees bent so it looks more like this. And then as you get more comfortable with that, go with your legs out. So it looks more like this. Now, one thing you'll notice is that whenever I lift up, I'm actually bringing my pelvis up too. And that's what's really going to target those lower abs, is that pelvis movement. Because the abs you could think of kind of like a band from your sternum to your hips, and what it does is they stretch by expanding that motion, and then they contract by bringing it closer together. So if you're literally just raising your legs up like that, that's all hips. So what we want to do is make that range of motion greater and then smaller, just like that. And that'll go for all of these exercises. So that's the first exercise, the hanging leg raise. Now let's jump into the next one. Exercise number 2 is the oblique or Russian twist. Now, this is a common exercise, but it's also a common one to mess up. So what I see a lot of people do is just go really quick like that, but that's not the case. And you don't want to do that on pretty much any exercise. So what you want to do is go slow and controlled. And I'm going to give you a few extra tips to really feel that squeeze in the abs and the obliques, things like that. So first off, the easier way to do it is to have your feet on the ground like that and just kind of balance yourself up. So this is the starting position. You lock your hands in. Now from there, you'll go over to the side, touch the ground each time, just like that. Now, to make it just a little more complicated, don't just go to the side, go back as well. So you're almost crunching as you go back. So like this. And then the full version of the exercise is to lift your legs up, balancing yourself right here, and then you go back as you come over. So this is really good for targeting those abs, those obliques, this transverse abdominis, all the technical muscles in there. If you've never tried them like this, going slow and controlled, just like this, make sure to give them a shot. You'll even feel it in the hip flexors as well. So that's a really, really great ab exercise. But I like this next one just a little bit better. All right, so before we get into the third exercise, just a quick PSA, make sure that you're staying hydrated throughout your workout and throughout the day. It's extremely important. I have my hydro flask here with all my water in it. I have 1 to 2 of these a day on top of everything else that I drink. And then also, if you're doing an actual workout routine, I highly recommend having a protein shake. And you could even throw in some sugar in there like Gatorade powder and throw in some creatine. And then you could just make that concoction that is an amazing shake that is really good for recovery, for muscle growth, and all that good sort of stuff. So that's your quick fitness, health, PSA for today. Now let's jump back into the third exercise. Okay, so for the next exercise, we're gonna be doing a crunch, but not just a crunch, because a lot of people do weird kind of crunches where you'll see them, especially like in sports, you'll see like kids doing this, right? And that like does not work out the abs very much at all. So what we're gonna do is a full range of motion crunch. And we're gonna use one of these ab mats. If you don't have one of these, you can use a pillow or just anything that's soft under your back. And of course, if you don't have them in general, that's totally fine. But I highly recommend doing something like this. And the reason is because where you would normally stop on a crunch, your body is parallel to the ground. But here you can go really far back and then come up just like that. Now notice I'm not doing a full sit-up where I'm coming up like that, because at that top portion, I'm working a lot of the hip flexors. So from here, I'm just coming halfway up to where my back is off the ab mat, and then going back down. I breathe out as I go up, in as I go down. And then of course, if you want to make it harder, you can have some weight right here. I recommend holding it up towards the sky, just like that. You could have it right here as well, or you could have it behind your head, which is the hardest version. So this is how to do a proper crunch. It's one of my favorite ab exercises, one that's not often utilized correctly, but when you do, it becomes one of the best. So with that said, let's jump into our fourth exercise. We've done the hanging leg raise, we've done the Russian twist, and we've done the crunch. Now it's time for a great exercise for the lower abs. This is one of my favorite because pretty much anyone can do it, and it's really, really great for helping lower back pain and stuff like that, not just making your abs stronger. This is known as the reverse crunch. Now, just like a lot of these exercises, it's really easy to mess these up. So when you do this, I always have my hands under my butt in a diamond shape. You could spread them out like that. They don't have to be close together. So just like that, and that takes some tension off my lower back. Now from here, you can have your head resting on the ground, or you can have it up like that to keep everything flexed. Now I think about 90-degree angles with my feet and with my knees. And then from there, I have my heels close to the ground, but not touching. And then I rotate up and then down. Now you notice my butt is coming off the ground. I'm not just doing this because that's a lot of like hip flexor work. So I'm coming up, down. And you can even think about shooting your butt up towards the sky. And then a more advanced version obviously is to have your legs straight out like that. So that is the reverse crunch slash leg raise, which is really, really good. And it's a good precursor to the hanging leg raise. So if you get really good at those, hanging leg raises will be a lot easier. So those are 4 of my favorite ab exercises so far. But let's jump into this last one, which is a really unique one. For our last ab exercise, this is known as the cable crunch. This is a really great exercise for stretching out those abs at the top and working them through a full range of motion. But just like all the other ones, it's really easy to mess this up. Now, remember what I said earlier, the abs are like a rubber band going from your sternum to your hips, and you want them to expand as much as possible and contract as much as possible. So any other kind of movement, you're working other muscles. So what this is going to look like is I have these cables set way overhead, just like that. So it's going to pull me up. And then I have a pretty good amount of weight on there, something that needs to counterbalance your body. Now from here, what I'm doing is I'm leaning forward and I have the cables close to my head, and then I'm driving my elbows down close to my knees. I come up, stretch, down. And I'll breathe out as I come down. And I breathe in as I come up. So with that exercise, I can feel a really good stretch at the top of that. If you're not feeling that stretch, you're probably doing something wrong. So just make sure you feel that. Make sure that you're not like rocking back like this with your whole body. Make sure that you're up just like this and you're just crunching the abs, bringing those elbows down to the knees, kind of like if you're on an ab crunch machine or something like that. So that was 5 of my favorite ab exercises to help you get an anime shredded core. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments down below. And to go more in depth with your core training, make sure to check out the free core training guide that I'll link in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.